Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for Tuesday, November 7th. We got a 10-game main slate today on this Tuesday, so big slate today. Don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get started looking at point guard today. Alright, so up top at point guard here, we got Giannis, 10,800, going up against Cleveland. Absolutely love Giannis in this spot. Early looks at this slate, Giannis looking like one of my favorite plays today, going up against Cleveland. I'm going to be plugging him into the 5 plays. Just like the matchup, Cleveland just hasn't been good defensively this year. You would think the matchup with LeBron would be a little scary for Giannis, but he faced Cleveland earlier this year, had a really nice game against them. It wasn't even a competitive game, really. Cleveland beat them by 19 points, and Giannis still played 39 minutes, had 63 DraftKings points, 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, nearly got the triple-double. So when Giannis faced Cleveland earlier this year, when he faced the matchup with LeBron, he still had a really nice game. This price tag on Giannis continues to drop. We're now getting him under 11K, which we haven't gotten him this cheap pretty much since the beginning of the year. So love Giannis here. Like I said, Cleveland's just been bad defensively. Hopefully this game can stay close, be competitive. Giannis could just totally smash in this spot. He's probably one of my favorite studs. Looking at all the guys over 10K, I would say he's probably my favorite, given price. You could obviously argue for Boogie or AD since they've been so good, but that $10,800 price tag on Giannis, really intriguing today, so I'm plugging him in. One of my favorite plays today, $10,800. Russell Westbrook, 100 less, going up against Sacramento. Obviously, a great matchup for Westbrook. The blowout concern, definitely a potential here. Sacramento is a terrible basketball team. OKC could just blow them out. This game could be over by halftime, by the third quarter. Westbrook might not get his full minutes here. So for that reason, I'd probably stay away from him today. I would much rather have Giannis for 100 more. Giannis, like I said, probably my favorite play on the slate. John Wall, 9,500, going up against Dallas. Right now, he is listed as out, but that's because he missed on Sunday. I believe he is expected to play today against Dallas. This isn't going to be the best pace for Washington. Dallas does play at a very slow pace. They don't really have that good of a point guard defender, though. Dennis Smith Jr., definitely not a scary defender. Maybe somebody like Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews is a solid defender. Could give Wall some troubles if they put Matthews on him. But given the pace of this game and Wall's price tag, I think I'd shy away from him today at 9,500. He has been playing a little bit better as of late. But if I'm going to pay up for a stud today, Giannis is going to be the guy I target at 10.8. So going to be off at John Wall. Ben Simmons, 8,800, going up against Utah. Obviously not the best matchup for Simmons. Utah, very good defensive team. They also played a very slow pace. This price tag on Ben Simmons is really nice. This dude just continues to get it done. In his last 4 games, he's put up 51, 43, 52, and 56 DraftKings points. So even in a tough matchup, I think Ben Simmons is an option today. The Sixers are going to be without Joel Embiid today. Not sure if that's an upgrade for Simmons. I'm not sure if he'd be relied on more for scoring, though. With Embiid out, I feel like that's going to drop some of Simmons' assists. He gets a lot of assists to Embiid. With Embiid out, he might lose some of those assists. Might have to score the ball a little bit more today, though. So Ben Simmons, 8,800, even though it's a tough matchup, that price tag's really nice on him, and Ben Simmons just been so solid this year. So I think he's definitely in play at 8,800. Much rather have him over Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, definitely in a tough spot today, 8,700, going up against Memphis, a good defensive team. A team that I really try and shy away from when taking guys against. I'd much rather have Simmons if I'm going in that price range. Victor Oladipo, 8K, going up against the Pelicans. I think Victor Oladipo, definitely a good spot for him. The Pelicans, not good defensively against point guards and shooting guards. And Oladipo has been really solid with the Pacers this year. He's been relied on a ton this year, a ton of usage. The 8K price tag does seem like a lot to pay. He hasn't really been paying that off. At that price, you're probably going to need at least 40 DraftKings points to be worth cash game value, which he's only done once in his last 4 games. But like I said, it's a great matchup against the Pelicans. So I think Oladipo, definitely an option here. 8K if you want to pay up at point guard. And then some point guards in this 7K range. I'm not going to talk about everybody just because I feel like the video would be forever. So going to hit on the guys here that I think that catch my eye. I think D'Angelo Russell at 7,900 going up against Denver. Russell could definitely be an intriguing play today. We know Denver does like to push the ball. They play up in pace. Although their pace has been a little bit down this year, they're still a team that does push the ball. And not really the best defensive team either, especially against point guards. So I think D'Angelo Russell at 7,900, definitely a good option today going up against Denver. If you're looking in that mid-tier point guard, he would be a guy I would target. 7,200, Kyle Lowry going up against the Bulls. Great matchup for Kyle Lowry. That price tag is a little high for him. He hasn't really been paying that off as of late. In his last 4 games, he put up 42, 23, 38, and then had a game against Washington where he put up 4 DraftKings points, but he did get ejected in that game, so didn't play the full game. But if this game can stay close against the Bulls, highly unlikely, but if it does stay close, Kyle Lowry could have a really good game today. We know the Bulls aren't the best defensive team. This game could be over by the third quarter. Lowry could only play 25 minutes in this game. But like I said, if it stays close, Lowry definitely an option here at 7,200. And then looking in the 6K range, some guys I think I'm going to be targeting here. Not a ton of interest in the 6K guys, more or less in the 5K range. This is where I see some guys I like. I think Malcolm Brogdon at 5,700 going up against Cleveland could be an intriguing play today. That price tag is pretty high on Brogdon, but he's been playing pretty well lately, and we know Cleveland's been really bad defensively to start the year. In his last 4 games, Brogdon's put up 27, 13, 27, and 40 DraftKings points. When he played Cleveland earlier this year, he had 25 DK points, which obviously isn't great for a $5,700 price tag. But Brogdon has shown his upside. He can get 40 plus. He's a good scorer. He can grab a couple rebounds, can dish out some assists. So if this game can stay close, stay competitive, Malcolm Brogdon, Giannis could be 2 really good plays from the Bucks. 2 guys you definitely want to consider. 5,700. And then looking for maybe some value point guards that we can target. Maybe 5K and under, some guys. If you need some value, some guys you can target. I think at 5K, JERIAN Grant going up against the Raptors. I think JERIAN Grant, definitely a good sort of mid-tierish value play today. We know Kyle Lowry just not the best defender. JERIAN Grant at 5K, that's a really intriguing price tag. This guy is pretty much the #1 point guard for the Bulls. He does get a lot more minutes than Kris Dunn. He is the starter. He is coming off a really nice game against New Orleans where he put up 41 DraftKings points, played 36 minutes, got 13 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Just an assist and 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. And in this good matchup against Kyle Lowry, I think JERIAN Grant, definitely a guy you can target. Very high opportunity of him getting 6x, getting 30 DraftKings points. Definitely possible in this spot. If this game could stay close. So I think JERIAN Grant at 5K, you want a cheap point guard today. Definitely a guy I'm going to target. 4,700, EMMANUEL MUDIAY. I know Mudiay isn't the starter. He doesn't get nearly as many minutes usually as Jamal Murray. But Mudiay has been playing he's been pretty much playing a lot better than Murray has. He's seen his minutes increase as of late. In his last 4 games, he's played 20, 27, 25, and 32 minutes. Has put up 22, 31, 22, and 32 DraftKings points. Denver is going up against Brooklyn. We know Brooklyn isn't that good of a team. This game could blow out. Mudiay will definitely be out there if the game blows out. Even if it stays close, if Mudiay's playing well, he could see an increase in minutes. He did play 32 minutes against Golden State. That was a blowout, but Mudiay was playing really well, and Murray really didn't play well that game. So if Murray is struggling, Mudiay's playing well, he could see 25, 30 minutes. When this guy's on the court, he'll grab rebounds, he'll dish out assists, he'll score. He'll pretty much do it all when he's on the court. It's pretty much just all about the minutes for Mudiay. If he gets the minutes, definitely a good fantasy option, especially going up against Brooklyn. So I think EMMANUEL MUDIAY for tournaments only, definitely a guy you can target at 4,700. And then a core play for me today at point guard. It seems like I recommend this guy every day, but like I said, I keep saying this, his price never rises. He continues to get the job done. JJ Barea, 4,400, going up against Washington. I'm just going to keep rostering JJ Barea until his price increases or until he gets a bad matchup. His price hasn't increased pretty much at all. He's still 4,400. He's been around this price tag pretty much all year, and he just continues to get the job done, continues to hit value. In his last 2 games, he's put up 25, 26 DraftKings points, 6x value, both of those games. Barea doesn't play a ton of minutes. He usually sees minutes in the mid-20s. But if this game blows out against Washington, there's a good chance it could blow out. Barea could definitely see an increase in minutes. And even if it's competitive, Barea sometimes is out there in competitive games, especially if he's playing well, especially if he is making his shots. We know Barea, when he comes off the bench, the dude's taking a ton of shots. He's dishing out assists. He'll even grab a couple rebounds. So at 4,400, until JJ Barea's price tag increases or until he just starts struggling, definitely a guy I'm going to continue to target for value at point guard. 4,400, a guy I really like today if you're looking for value. And yeah, I think that might be it for point guard today. Those are some guys that are catching my eye. Early looks at the slate. These are some guys I'm going to be targeting. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. Alright, so up top at shooting guard today, we got Bradley Beal, 8,300, going up against Dallas. Beal could definitely be an intriguing play today if John Wall somehow misses this game. Like I said, I am recording this on Monday night. Don't have any news on Wall. But if he does miss, Bradley Beal might be one of the top stud plays you want to consider. He obviously sees a huge increase in usage and in shots when John Wall is out. And he's been playing well as of late. He's put up 53, 47, and 52 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. So if John Wall somehow misses this game, definitely going to want to consider Bradley Beal today, 8,300 at shooting guard. And looking for some other shooting guards in this mid-tier, some guys that catch my eye. Don't have a ton of interest in any of these guys in this range here. A lot of them are in tough spots, like CJ McCollum has to go up against Memphis. That's not the best matchup. I think DeRozan's in play, 7,600 against the Bulls. We know the Bulls aren't the best team, but there's obviously blowout concern here, and DeRozan is pretty expensive at 7,600. If I was going to pay that much at shooting guard, I'd probably just try and find some extra salary to go up to Bradley Beal and then pay down somewhere else. So I'm not going to have a ton of interest in DeRozan, not a ton of interest in any of these guys in this 7, 6K range. So looking 6K and under in the 5K range, some mid-tier plays. Justin Holiday, 5,900 going up against the Raptors. Justin Holiday, always a guy I like to consider. This guy plays a ton of minutes every night. We saw last game against New Orleans, he played 43 minutes. I do believe that game went into overtime, but still, even after the end of regulation, he was probably at about 38, 37, 38 minutes, somewhere around there. So this guy is locked in for minutes, especially if it's a competitive game. Not saying that this game's going to be competitive against the Raptors, but if it is, Holiday's going to play over 35, might even play 40 minutes again. And he takes a ton of shots when he's on the court. He'll grab rebounds. He will get a couple assists. He's pretty much the number one guy, him and Lopez are, when it comes to scoring for the Bulls. So I like Justin Holiday today, 5,900. You're looking at that mid-tier at shooting guard. I think he is definitely in play. Looking for some guys 5K and under, some value plays we can target at shooting guard. I have one of my 5 plays here, 4,900. Joe Ingles going up against the Sixers. Really like Joe Ingles today, like his price tag as well at 4,900. The matchup is really good for Ingles, and he's been really consistent as of late. Besides that game against Houston, where he put up 18 DK points, and besides that game against the Clippers, where he put up 7, Ingles has been over 25 DraftKings points in every single game this year, besides those 2. So he's been really consistent this year. He's really nicely priced at 4,900. For 5 to 6x value, you're only going to need about 25 to 30 DK points, which he's pretty much been living in that range all year. And it is a great matchup for Ingles, like I said. I'd imagine he's going to see defense from J.J. Redick, and we know J.J. Redick is not the best defender. So really like Joe Ingles today. Like the price tag. Definitely a guy I have a ton of interest in at 4,900. And looking for some other shooting guards we can target. Not a ton of guys I have a lot of interest in. Donovan Mitchell has seen a big price increase at 4,600 because he has been playing really well lately. In his last 3 games, he's put up 41, 38, and 29 DraftKings points. But like I said, he's seen a price increase. He's now up to 4,600. Don't know if I want to play him at that price. But he has been seeing pretty consistent minutes in his last 3 games. He's played 35, 32, and 25 minutes. So I would say he's projected about 25-ish minutes, especially could see a lot more if he is playing really well. So if you want a cheap guy at shooting guard, definitely think Donovan Mitchell is an option. I'm at 4,600. And yeah, I think that might be it for shooting guard. Not really going to target any of these guys like sub 4K. Don't see a ton of guys here that I'm really interested in. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Alright, so at small forward, up top here, we've got LeBron James. He's 11,400 going up against the Bucks. I don't think I'm going to be on LeBron today just because Giannis is my favorite stud on the slate, and I can't pay up for every stud. But LeBron has been playing really well lately. He's been really solid. He's coming off one of his best games of the year. A couple days ago, he against Washington put up 57 points, 7 assists, 11 rebounds, 92 DraftKings points. Had a ton of exposure to him on that day, so that was a great day for me. But even if you take out that game, LeBron's just been solid as of late. 61 DK points before that game, 56 the game after. If this game can stay competitive, LeBron's going to play really well. He's going to put up over 50 plus. He's always a good cash game play because he's pretty consistent. But at 11,400 with that big price increase, I think I'm going to shy away here. Giannis is my favorite stud on the slate, and I can't pay up for all the studs. So I'm not going to be on LeBron. Just much rather have Giannis at 10,800. Looking for some other small forwards that we can target. Maybe some guys in this mid-tier. Carmelo Anthony seems a little bit too cheap today at 6,900 going up against Sacramento. Obviously a great matchup for Melo. The price tag is very nice on him. Melo has been pretty consistent this year. He's been a pretty reliable fantasy option. Besides that game against Portland, his last game where he only played 23 minutes, he did get ejected in that game. So if you take out that game, Melo's been 32 DraftKings points or more in every single game this year. And at just 6,900 for 5x value, you only need 35 DK points, which will get it done in cash games. We know when Melo's knocking down the shots, he has the potential to put up 40 to 50 DK points, which is what you want for tournaments. So definitely like Melo here, 6,900. Really like that price tag. A guy I'm gonna have my eye on today. And then looking in this mid tier, 6K and under, maybe some cheaper guys we can target at small forward. Harrison Barnes at 5,800 going up against Washington. I'm going to continue to attack Washington with small forwards. They've been terrible defensively against small forwards this year. Obviously, we know LeBron had that monster game against them. TJ Warren also had a really good game against Washington as well. They've just been really struggling to small forwards defensively this year. So definitely like Harrison Barnes here at 5,800. Barnes is always a consistent guy you can consider for cash games. He plays a ton of minutes. He takes a ton of shots when he's on the court. Rarely does he disappoint for you when he's getting the minutes. And if this game can stay competitive, Barnes is probably going to see over 30, 35, might even see close to 40 minutes if it's a competitive game. So definitely like him as a small forward, sort of mid-tierish value option we can target today. I'm at 5,800. Looking for some cheaper small forwards, maybe some value plays that we can target here. If you want a cheap guy that you can use in tournaments, I think BOJAN Bogdanovic is in play for GPPs today. Because this is a guy that can provide a lot of upside when he's making his shots. We saw that against Philly, against Cleveland, against Sacramento. Put up 30, 29, and 34 DraftKings points in those games. Put up 17, 17, and 21 points. Was shooting the ball really well, especially against Cleveland. Shot 66% from the field. Bogdanovic is a guy that you're going to roster for his scoring ability. Going up against the Pelicans, this is a good spot for him. He'll see a good defensive matchup. So if you want a cheap play for tournaments, the guy can get hot. He can make shots. He can provide upside. So at 4,600, definitely think he is in play for value. And yeah, guys, I think that might be it for small forward. There's some guys that I like here that are catching my eye. At 4K, I think Norman Powell might be a punt play that you can target at just 4K. He has been playing really well lately. He has been pretty consistent. He's been getting the job done. In his last 4 games, he's put up 19, 22, 25, and 30 DraftKings points. He has been seeing pretty consistent minutes as well, and it is obviously a really good matchup against the Bulls. So if you want a cheap play at small forward, also shooting guard eligible, I think Norman Powell is an option today at 4K. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for small forward today. There's some guys I see here that are catching my eye. Let's go ahead and move on to power forward. Alright, so at power forward up top here, we got DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis going up against the Pacers. Obviously, you can pay up for these guys. I'm not going to tell you not to. They're in play pretty much every day. I would say Boogie's defensively, he's going to see Miles Turner, and Anthony Davis will probably be matched up with Thaddeus Young. So if I had to choose one guy, I'd probably go with Anthony Davis at 11-2, but both guys are in play. They've played so well this year, especially for fantasy. They've been killing it every night. But like I said earlier, Giannis is probably my favorite stud on this slate, and I can't pay up for everybody, so going to be off of AD and Boogie today just because I like Giannis so much. But if you're playing multiple lineups, those are guys that you're definitely going to want to get into some of your lineups. But then looking for other power forwards we can target, KRISTAPS Porzingis, really seen a price increase as of late. He's up to 9,400 today. He's going up against Charlotte. But Porzingis has been so good this year. He's been playing so well. In his last 4 games, he's put up 55, 30, 53, and 64 DraftKings points. Porzingis has been showing a ton of upside this year. So even at this high price tag of 9,400, I still think he's in play because of how much upside this guy has. We know he's a great scorer. He'll grab some rebounds. He can get blocks as well. So Porzingis, if you want to pay for him at power forward, definitely think he's a viable option today at 9,400. Blake Griffin at 8,600. Really nice price tag on Blake today, but obviously a tough matchup going up against the Spurs. The Spurs are a good defensive team. But Blake has been so solid this year. He's one of the guys that you pretty much matchup proof. He hasn't really had any disappointing games this year besides that one game against Golden State where he only played 30 minutes. Other than that game, Blake's been pretty much living in the 40s and 50s when it comes to DraftKings points. On 8,600, if he gets in that range, that's obviously good for cash games. You probably want 50 plus if you're going to roster him in tournaments. If this game stays close, Blake has the upside here. So definitely think he's a viable option today. Power forward, 8,600 if you want to pay up for him. And then looking for some other power forwards we can target. Paul Millsap at 6,800 going up against Brooklyn. Definitely like Paul Millsap here if you're looking in the mid-tier at power forward. He is obviously coming off a terrible game against Golden State, but he did only play 16 minutes in that game, only put up 7 DraftKings points. Denver got blown out in that game. All the starters, pretty much every starter, only played like 20 minutes at the most. So obviously this is a great bounce back spot for Millsap. playing against Brooklyn, a terrible defensive team, a team that plays at a very fast pace. Definitely like Paul Millsap here at 6,800, a guy I will have my eye on today at power forward if I'm looking in that price range. And then looking for some power forwards that we can target that are cheaper, maybe 6K and under. Harrison Barnes, I already mentioned him, 5,800. I like him. He's small forward eligible as well. Thaddeus Young at 5,700 going up against the Pelicans. Obviously not the best matchup, having to go up against Anthony Davis, but they're going to need somebody. The Pacers are going to need somebody's size, somebody with size to match up with those two guys, those two bigs. So Thaddeus Young, he's already been playing a ton of minutes this year, but he should have to play over 35 minutes again. And right now, as I'm recording this video, Domantas Sabonis is questionable. So if Sabonis sits, Thaddeus Young could be looking at close to 40 minutes in this game. And even in a tough matchup against AD, a really big defender, Thaddeus Young could still definitely hit value on his price tag, could definitely get over 30 DraftKings points in this game. So if you want to target him at power forward, if you're looking at mid tier, I think Thad Young, 5,700, a valuable option today. And then looking for some value power forwards that we can target, maybe 5K and under. There aren't a ton of guys here that I have a ton of interest in. Either they're in a tough matchup or they just don't get enough minutes to where you really want to roster them. So not a ton of value power forwards I like today. I think there are other positions you can go for value. I think power forward might be a position you want to go to the mid-tier or look to pay up at. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to center. Alright, so at center, some guys that I have my eye on today. 8,500, probably one of my favorite plays on the slate besides Giannis. Love Nikola Jokic today. 8,500 going up against Brooklyn. Great matchup for Jokic. And the pace of this game is really going to set up well for Jokic. He is coming off a terrible game against Golden State. But like I said earlier, a lot of the starters didn't play much in that game because of blowout. Jokic only played 20 minutes, put up 24 DK points. So this is a great bounce back spot for Jokic. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he had another game with over 50 DraftKings points. If this game could stay close, if it can stay competitive, Jokic should definitely have a potential to get a triple-double in this spot. And at just 8,500, if I get 50 DraftKings points from him, that's obviously great value. That's obviously a good play in tournaments as well. Him and Giannis are probably two of the guys I'm going to have a ton of exposure today. Early looks at this slate, Giannis and Jokic, two guys I really like that are really catching my eye. Then looking for some other centers that we can target that are a little bit cheaper. Rudy Gobert is going up against the Sixers. The Sixers are going to be without Joel Embiid today. So Gobert could just totally smash in this spot. This price tag is really expensive on him. He hasn't really been paying off his price as of late. But we know Gobert has the upside to definitely pay this price off. We saw against Dallas the kind of upside that Gobert has. Put up 17 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 blocks. Gobert has that kind of block upside. Always a good play on FanDuel where blocks are worth 3 points. And in that game against Dallas, he finished with 57 DraftKings points. And going up against the Sixers, who are going to be without Joel Embiid today, definitely think Rudy Gobert is an option. It's 7,900, even though that price tag is really high. Still like him today, since the Sixers are going to be without Embiid, who is a good defender. And looking for some other centers that we can target. At 7K, DeAndre Jordan going up against San Antonio. Definitely like DJ today. If you're looking at that 7K range, it's center. We know San Antonio isn't nearly as good against centers as they are defensively against other positions. Paul Gasol, not a very good defender. So this is a really good spot for DeAndre Jordan. He should definitely be able to dominate the boards in this game. DeAndre Jordan, pretty much a walking double-double. You can pretty much lock him in for 10 points and at least 10 points and 10 rebounds just about every night if he's getting the minutes. So at 7K, definitely think DJ can return value on that price tag. So I like him if you're looking in that price range. And looking for some centers that we can target that are cheaper. Steven Adams at 5,900 going up against Sacramento. Steven Adams to me just continues to be too cheap. Kind of like JJ Barea. Adams never sees his price increase and he just continues to get the job done. Although he is coming off a pretty disappointing game against Portland. Before that game, Adams obviously so solid, just continues to get it done. Besides those two games against Portland and against Utah, Adams has pretty much been living in the 28 to 40 range. And at just 5,900, if I get 30, 35 DK points, which is pretty much where Adams has been living in, that's obviously good value for cash games. So if you want to go a little bit cheaper at center, definitely like Steven Adams today at 5,900. But another one of my 5 plays coming from center, going to plug him into the util. MARCIN Gortat, 5,500 going up against Dallas. Just love Gortat today. Dallas is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. They really don't have any good bigs. So Gortat should just totally be able to dominate the boards in this spot. And I love this price tag on him at 5,500. I think it's a little bit too cheap given the matchup. I think Gortat's definitely going to get a double-double here. should totally be able to get over 30 DraftKings points if this game stays competitive. So really like him today at 5,500. Another guy I really like for value if you're looking to go cheap at center. Definitely should be considering him. Then another cheap center I like for 200 less, Robin Lopez going up against Toronto. If this game can stay close, then I think Robin Lopez is definitely a viable option today at 5,300. He has already faced Toronto once this year, and he put up 32 DraftKings points in that game when he faced Toronto earlier this year. Played 32 minutes, got 18 points and 8 rebounds. Like I said, 32 DK points. Lopez is another guy, kind of like Steven Adams, that just continues to get the job done and really rarely sees his price increase. For cash games from Lopez, you only want about 25, 30 DK points. If he gets there, that's obviously good value for cash. He's pretty much been living in that range all year, so definitely like Robin Lopez today, 5,300, a guy I really like if you're looking to go cheap at center. And yeah, I think that might be it for center guys. Those are some guys I'm looking to target. Some value plays I like, some mid-tier plays, and then the stud plays I like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for center. I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Also be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. If this is your first time watching a video on my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I do upload these videos daily for you guys, so it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe. And also be sure to click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you do that, that will notify you every time I upload. So if you never want to miss out on any videos, make sure you do that, guys. Would really appreciate it as well. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, she shaking fast. Yeah, she dropping slow. Huh? What? Yeah, neck on fro. Whoa, 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 whoa.